All right, our third question for tonight is again from Saudi Arabia, from student Khalid Naji. Now, he's got a very, very interesting question. And again, I get this question, and in fact, my counseling team, we get this most of the time. He says, why is there a quarantine for students outside of Malaysia even though they've already got 2 shots of vaccination? Which means you're saying that students have already completed their vaccination, dose 1, dose 2. And why do they still, if they come for a quarantine, and why are they subject to at least 14 days of quarantine in a hotel in Malaysia? Now, a very, very good question. Now, if you look back, let's rewind back the clock and we look back at the start of the year. Now, at the start of the year, students coming into Malaysia, the quarantine period was a minimum of 7 days only. All right. This changed dramatically, as I mentioned again at the start. We are currently in Malaysia, sadly, we're undergoing another outbreak of COVID-19 itself. And now, because of this new outbreak, the government has taken a little bit more stringent procedures to ensure that people coming into the country, if you are able to come in with a valid visa, do not add on to or do not compound further to the worsening COVID-19 situation in Malaysia itself. So that is why they wanted to have a play safe, be safe kind of attitude, and that is why they stretched the quarantine to 14 days. Now, coming back to your question about why, even though you've got 2 doses of COVID-19, you still are subject to quarantine. Now, that's very simple. We have to look at both sides of the equation. While you may be protected by the virus, which means that, even though you have the vaccines, all right, and the symptoms, even though you contract COVID-19, you won't have severe symptoms, but that's well good and well for you. But you must also understand, in Malaysia, there are also many Malaysians who have not yet got their vaccination. Okay, so imagine if you come in and sadly, if you do carry the virus with you, because you are already vaccinated, you may not feel the symptoms itself, right? You may not know about the symptoms because the vaccine is protecting you, limiting the effects of the symptoms. So you may not know about it. And so when you come into Malaysia, you may, accidentally, with no intentions, infect other fellow Malaysians who are here themselves. So these processes, these procedures, they are not just meant to make life difficult for travelers to come in. They are built in place so that people like you, as well as fellow Malaysians like me here in Malaysia, we all can be safe and eventually be, how should I say, in an environment that is free of COVID-19 to some extent. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Don't be discouraged by these procedures. Like I said, as things get better, they should also be less stringent for you.